our distance specialist and nationally ranked in 2 different events. Jody, go ahead.
All right. Liberty, just can you kind of take us through what this year has been like for you? And, Gabby was talking about the end of last year until now and how different for everybody. What about for you? What's your progression been like?
Yeah, so I think I finished last year as well as I could have expected, considering we both had COVID going to the end of the season, about a month out of the water here or there in January, heading into ACCs in February. And then off of that, I just was pretty excited to get into summer training and into long course and trials. So training to trials went really well, and I my best times in all my events at trials, which I couldn't have asked for more, really. And it was a great time overall, like some last swims with some seniors and something like that. So it was just a really fun time. Like, I'll remember that forever. So that was great. And then going into the fall, we were just so excited to finally have campus a little more open. TASE was open. The freshmen were on campus, and we could like hang out with them as opposed to last year when we got here. We were so cut off from the team. We had to train away from them for 2 weeks before we could all integrate together and everything like that. So just the togetherness was just so amazing to have this year. I mean, we obviously have a great family atmosphere every year, but to not have it 100% my freshman year and then to have it all at once my sophomore year was just amazing, and definitely like brought that energy and momentum into the season, because the beginning of the season is kind of difficult, getting into that tough training, getting it like under your belt so you can perform well when it comes to this time the year. So it was definitely just like super uplifting to have everybody here and working together so hard. So the fall was definitely a lot. We do a lot of dryland training, which is not my specialty, but like I said, like by your teammates, we do a lot of team-based, like small group teams for dryland. So it's definitely like a lot of teamwork building, and just everybody motivates each other so much, and like the yelling is so loud and the music's so loud during our dryland sessions. So that's really exciting. After that, going into the fall at my mid-season meet, I didn't really perform exactly how I wanted to. So it's a little bit of a kick in the butt to kind of like, all right, like what do we need to get down and focus on before we get into the end of the season? And then the couple weeks before we left for Florida for our training trip, I kind of found that gear with Cameron and I. And then going through training trip was just probably one of the best chunks of training I've ever had. As difficult as it was so fun, and that I think was really what carried me well into this end of the year.
What do you go in this week with your mind? What's your mindset? Do you look at what you want to do? Do you look at others? Do you worry about where you're seated? Kind of your mindset going into the week.
Yeah, so for me, I think the best way that I am able to look at it is just, it's a swim meet. You know, like how many of these have I done before? I've been swimming since I was 5. So just not to put too much pressure on myself. And I definitely don't look at, oh, this girl went this time, or this girl's up here and I'm back here, so like I'm this much off or whatever. I definitely don't look at the sheets a lot. I look at what lane am I in, and that's all that matters to me. Like, as long as I'm like ready to go, that's all I need. Because once you're there, like nothing changes. You can't change anything. What's gonna happen is gonna happen. All the work I put in has been put in, so I just need to be confident and just kind of dive in and do what I know what to do, because I've definitely practiced it enough.
How do you find you're not going to be the surprise, kind of the dark horse this year? You made the podium at ACCs last year from one of the first heats. I mean, you had already made the podium 3 hours before the other people finished. Like now you've thrown down some pretty gaudy times. Now, how is that going to affect your approach to the race, that they're going to be after you?
Yeah, so it definitely is different. I would be lying if I didn't say I didn't enjoy being in that first heat and just kind of having all that space to myself and like the focus on only myself and not like necessarily people next to me. But definitely it's a little stressful. Like, I'm not gonna say it's not, because when you look at the sheets, like, oh, I'm second, and like last year I was way down there, and I kind of just had the opportunity to be the dark horse and the underdog and just kind of nothing to prove. But even though my name's a little higher this year, I still feel like I have nothing to prove. Like, I'm going to go and do my best, just like the girl next to me is going to go and do her best. And I'm not expecting the girl next to me to go her seed time, nor should she expect me to go my seed time. I'm expecting her to do something crazy, but I'm expecting myself to do something crazy as well. So it's just a lot of focus on yourself and just confidence in like what you've trained and what you know how to do and your teammates. And I know their energy and their support is what's going to ultimately help me like get to where I need to go, as it has so far. And that's all I need, really. So yeah.
Talk about swimming as fast and hard as you can for 15 minutes, 15 plus minutes into 1650. Does your mind go to your happy place, or what do you do to concentrate yet relax while you're swimming?
So I've kind of got it down now. The races I do, they have the lap counters in there, so that's covered for me, but I still like to have that control over my race. So I like to count down while they're counting up. So I'm just going like 66, 66, and I flip, I'm like 65, 65 until I hit the wall again. And then also kind of going at the same time or in the back of my mind, generally, not because I choose to, but there's a song stuck in my head a lot of the time. So like that just kind of like mellows me out, and I kind of get in the rhythm of like whatever the song's going. And so, yeah, overall it just kind of gets into a flow. Don't need to focus too much on like, oh, wow, I have 10 minutes left or whatever. So
what's your go-to song?
Honestly, a couple weeks ago at ACC is my 500. It was a song they played right before I got it, and it was a Pitbull song. I don't even listen to Pitbull, but it just got stuck in there. And then the past 2 miles, so ACC's freshman year and ACC's this year, I actually had a song by the same band, and they just released an album March 4th, so it might be one of their songs. Yeah.
Do you have anything else, Jody?
All good. Thank you.
Thank you.